Hey, Stephanie. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Am I
Hi.
backstage?
So I'm not really sure. Now that I'm seeing it, I'm getting the sense that there isn't a backstage for these smaller sessions.
Oh,
So I think, do you see the like TV with the red line through it on the bottom of your screen?
say that one more time.
At the very bottom, there's like the camera, a microphone, a YouTube button,
Hmm.
and then the one next to it that looks like a TV with a red line through it. That
Yes.
is what you'll
Share
click
screen.
to share your screen.
Okay.
And then I think I'll just turn off my camera and microphone, and everyone else will just be able to see your screen.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, I see someone said in the chat you are not backstage. I can see and hear you, so I guess there is no backstage.
I haven't seen, hey Amy, I haven't seen a link at least.
Yeah, because in the directions it says you will go backstage and someone will kind of put you main stage.
hmm
So, okay. Well, at least I know I'm in the right place.
Yeah, so you can share now if you want to feel, extra set up, or
Okay.
you can just do your thing.
Okay. I'll share just to make sure I'm doing everything right. And then I could um can you see that okay?
I can, yeah.
Okay. And the slides are advancing okay and everything.
Yeah, they look great.
All right. Let me um am I still sharing?
Now you are not.
Okay. Yeah, because I hit escape, I think. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. All right. I'll just turn my camera and mic off for now until 9:30.
Okay, great.
Um, okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, of
I'll
course.
see you at yeah, I'll try to come maybe back like 9:25.
Okay, no rush, no worries.
Hello. Hi.
Good morning, everyone. As you're joining us, please leave anything in the chat if you're having any problems with technological difficulties, and know that you can double click on the slides that Stephanie has shared to make them larger so you can see them a little more easily.
Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Um, so it's now 9:30, so I'll go ahead and start. So my name is Stephanie Wilcher. I am a MD and PhD student. So I go to medical school at East Carolina University's Brody School of Medicine, and I also am in the Master's Public Health program at the ECU Graduate School. I'm going to be presenting a project that I worked on over the past summer called Promoting Diabetes Prevention Awareness to Youth Through a Cultural Celebration Platform. So the objective of this project was to raise diabetes prevention awareness amongst youth in the West Greenville community using an educational and entertaining video that I wrote and produced myself. Um, I showed the video at the West Greenville Health Council's third annual Juneteenth celebration. This year, because of COVID, the celebration was virtual, so it was streamed through Zoom and also linked with Facebook Live on the West Greenville Health Council's Facebook page. So my intentions with this video was to empower the West Greenville residents as they're viewing the video to improve their health behaviors by things they learned in the video. And I chose to do it on a cultural platform because I wanted it to connect with the African American viewers in a way that they could connect with their cultural identity uh, through the health messaging that I was giving in the video. So on the right, I have the Pan-African flag colors, also known as the African diaspora colors, and it usually represents, or often it's used to represent the African American community, like a flag that represents the African American community. Okay, so why I chose the topic that I chose of diabetes prevention. So my interests lie in primary care in preventable medicine, in chronic disease, and in the African American population. Um, so I'm in medical school right now, as I said before, and I really hope to become a family medicine physician and do more research and more work in my career in these areas, also using my public health degree. Um, and so diabetes is a chronic disease, and I chose it as a topic because there's a lot of modifiable factors that you can get ahead of in order to make sure that someone before they have diabetes or if they have diabetes have better health outcomes, such as the ones I focused on in the video, like healthy eating, physical activity, weight management. Okay, so a little bit about the location that I chose. So I'm living in Greenville currently because I'm a student at ECU. And in Greenville, there is a small community called West Greenville, and it's a predominantly African American, socially, economically disadvantaged community. And there, in that community, specifically African American community, there is a high need for diabetes prevention awareness, as African Americans have very high rates of diabetes in the United States and Eastern North Carolina in general. So just to kind of orient everyone to where I'm talking about. So this is a map of North Carolina, and the red dot represents Greenville. The blue circle represents the West Greenville community. And on the right side of the slide, that is the neighborhoods that make up this community, all the neighborhoods that make up the West Greenville community. So as far as my audience, and like I said, in my objective, I aimed my messaging towards youth. And I chose to aim my messaging towards youth because the opportunity for early intervention with a youth audience and also educating a youth audience has the potential for the greatest impact for lifelong improvement of health behaviors and health outcomes. Also, another reason is when I was creating the material and the messaging, having it at a middle school and high school age level would allow for anyone older than that age audience to be able to understand the material as well. So the cultural platform I chose was Juneteenth. Um, and Juneteenth is tied to the African American culture because it's a holiday that's celebrated mostly by African Americans to commemorate the emancipation of enslaved people in the United States. Um, it's been celebrated on June 19th since 1865. The pictures I have on the right, on the top one, you see the Pan-African flag colors, which I described before, usually is used to represent the African American community. And you can see also another name for Juneteenth is Freedom Day. And you see the picture on the bottom represents the emancipation, the freedom that is celebrated on that day. So now I'll get into how I put the video together. Um, so I began, like all projects begin, with research. I researched a lot of diabetes awareness, diabetes prevention curriculum that are aimed at children. Um, and I kind of picked through what I saw, what I liked, to make sure that the message was appropriate for that age and also educational for that age level. And I also did some background deep diving into popular culture within the African American community, the youth community, um, in West Greenville or North Carolina in general. And I did that so that my language, my humor, my references could be relatable and relevant to them. And in that way, it would make the video more entertaining as something they can see themselves in. So the script I put together had three parts. The first part was describing diabetes. And in there, I talked about the most common types of diabetes, which usually like one, two, and gestational, but I focused on type 2. And then I also talked about basic pathophysiology of diabetes. And I made sure I used props to visualize the concepts that I was explaining. For example, for the concept of insulin allowing glucose into cells, I used a box that represented the cell. I used a key that represented insulin, and I opened the box with the key. And when I opened the box, I put in sugar packets to represent glucose so they could see exactly what insulin does for a cell. Um, my second part was talking about the complications of diabetes. So I focused on microvascular and macrovascular. For microvascular, I talked about damage to the eyes, retina. I talked about damage to the kidneys. And for macrovascular, I talked about damage to the heart, to the brain, such as like strokes, things like that. And then when I was explaining that section of the video, I made sure I used organ props, organ models, so that the audience can see what those organs look like, and what the vascular around those organs look like. And then the third part of my video, I talked about the prevention strategies such as healthy eating and physical activity. And I made sure that I tried to include suggestions and ideas and advice on how they can modify their current diet or what they do for physical activity. I tried to use relevant examples of exercise. Like I know a lot of teens these days do TikTok dances. And so I talked about using the social media platform TikTok to learn dances for exercise purposes on there. Um, and then once my script was complete, I sent it to a family medicine physician who specializes, or not specializes, but does a lot of work in diabetes prevention here at the ECU Physicians Clinic. And I also sent it to an individual in the target demographic audience to make sure that it was understandable, relatable, entertaining in the way that I was intending it to be. So once I took all those suggestions and fixed whatever needed to be fixed in my script, I went ahead and filmed it. And because of COVID, there wasn't many locations I could film. So I actually filmed it in my front yard and my husband filmed it on his smartphone. So it was very family oriented. My kids made an appearance here and there in the video. And so, yeah, so it was filmed on a smartphone and it was edited through Windows 10 photo app video editor. The top picture shows the title screen of the video, which is spilling the tea on diabetes. And spilling the tea is like telling the truth. It's what do you call it? A um, slang term. There you go, slang term for telling the truth. A quick guide for teens, and then the bottom you see a picture of me. It's a still shot from the video where I'm holding a model of a pancreas, explaining what the pancreas is and what it does for your body. So the final video ended up being a 7-minute and 48-second video. Um, and it was shown through the Zoom app for the West Greenville Health Council's third annual Juneteenth celebration on Saturday, June 20th, 2020. And it was also streamed via Facebook. And about 45 people were in the viewing audience at the time of the actual viewing of the video for the celebration. And I included a link in the presentation for the video. If anybody's interested in using that link to watch the video, let me know. I realize that you can't probably click on it here, but I can send it to you later, or send it to you if you want to connect with me. So looking ahead, the video was later posted on the West Greenville Health Council page, Facebook page, for their 686 followers to view if they wish. Currently, the video has 175 views. Also, a short little clip of the video was shown on the news in Greenville for a story piece they were doing called Juneteenth Festivities Continue with Virtual Celebrations. And again, I have a link to that. I would be willing to share. If you're interested in receiving it, I can give it to you. And so the hope is that the video continues to spread and be shared, and it reaches not only the target audience, but anyone who can benefit from learning about diabetes prevention. So here are my references for my script and special acknowledgments. I have Dr. Winterbauer, who works at the public health school, who is also on the board of the West Greenville Health Council and helped me connect with the council to show my video. Dr. Shiv Patel, who is the family medicine physician who reviewed my script that I talked about previously. Holly Ingram, who's a student with me at the public health school, and she helped me secure all the models that I used and the props I used in my video. And then Daniel Wynn, my husband, who helped me film the video. Okay, and that's it. Does anybody have any questions? Or would you like me to share it again, share the video or the presentation again? Or
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
The first question in the chat right now is to share the link that you mentioned. Do you have an ability to put that in the chat?
Yes. Sorry about that. I was timing my presentation. Let me, if you give me a second, I can hop into my portfolio, copy and paste the link and post it in the chat for anybody who wants to take it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. All right, it's a Vimeo. I've posted it on Vimeo, so it can be shared that way. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I try. Thank you, everyone, for coming to see my presentation. No problem.
For everyone else, the next APBR session is called Barriers to Maternal Health Services During the Ebola Outbreak in 3 West African Countries. So if you go back to sessions under APBR and scroll till you see the one that starts with the word barriers, that's where we are starting in 3 minutes at 9:50.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.